right, welcome everybody to AGN Checkin Podcast number 6. I want to start off by congratulating our local FTC player that's sponsored by AGN. The Spine, he went to the tournament in Syracuse, the Syracuse Sucker Punch tournament, the anime arena. He placed first in Unio. I'm sorry, not Unio now. It's Unis now. To the next level. So he placed first in Unis, and he actually came back from being put in losers bracket early on for Central Blaze Blue Central Fiction. He reset, had a clutch reset in the grand finals, and came back and won that one as well. So he placed first in Unis, and he placed first in Blaze Blue Central Fiction. So congratulations to the Spine. You're doing fantastic. Let's keep it up. Let's keep this momentum rolling into future tournaments. We got Combo Breaker coming up pretty soon. A couple tournaments to keep our eye out on. But I know that's the big one we're going to be ramping up for and practicing for pretty soon. So congratulations to you. Going over to the next subject, what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be talking about a little bit about the space. We're still negotiating the contracts for the spot over on University Avenue. Obviously, these things take a little bit of time. Just trying to go back and forth and get the numbers right and make sure that when we lock into this contract, it's something that that'll be beneficial to the growth of AGN, and obviously to the stability of it first, and then to the growth of it into the future. So now it's just kind of sending emails back and forth and sit down, talk with each other, and kind of figuring out what works best for the gaming nostalgia and what will kind of keep the customers happy. Will also be great for us as we move forward to make sure we don't have any missteps or miscues coming forward. So hopefully we'll be finishing up that very soon. I don't know how much longer it'll take. We're pretty much set on some of the numbers. Just a couple small details as far as the length of the contract. Obviously, you don't want to lock anything too long, and then and then have an option to get out. I'm looking at hopefully getting a 2-year option just to kind of reset things and kind of take a step back a little bit. Kind of like they do in the NBA.
I'm gonna get a free AGN.
So hopefully we'll have to get locked in anything, so you have to get a free AGN shirt. But just to get the contract right, and then obviously set the numbers with as far as all the different things, RG and energy and the rent, all that fun stuff. So
And I'm gonna be security.
yeah, well, obviously if you're gonna be security, I have to work that into my budget. So now I gotta go
I'm
back
gonna do
to
it free just to
and
play
yeah,
game.
do it free. Okay, well I'm gonna tell them still that I gotta charge for you, and then maybe I'll let them come on them.
I'm a real gamer. I play for free.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway,
You
so
got paid.
we'll do okay. 2 security guys. Wow, one podcast. There we go. I don't need nobody else. Thank you guys. But anyway, so we're gonna be doing negotiations on that. So let's keep our fingers crossed, guys. Hopefully, I'll be giving you guys good news for the next podcast or so. Obviously, we do this every week, so I can't guarantee anything. But we're, like I said, we're just trying to move forward and make sure the numbers are right. So we'll keep an eye on that. And as I get the information, I'll share it with you all. And once we get everything locked into place, I will gladly let you all know that what we're going to be doing. So we have a space that we love the most in university. Obviously, there's other spots involved. University is where we want to be. So hopefully this is a spot for us. Fingers crossed. So now, without further ado, I want to introduce the 2 guests that we have today. Starting to my left, John, can you introduce yourself, please, sir?
I'm John Hylton. I am the person that runs this digital media lab called ImagineYOU, where we do video editing, music production, and all those fun digital skills that people like to do.
Awesome. Okay, John, thank you so much. And young man, can you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Jose Rodriguez. I volunteer for John.
Awesome. There we go. Short and sweet.
You know what I said? You didn't
That's
everything.
all you need.
Right, really that crazy. So I'll start with you, Jose. What got you into gaming?
I actually started gaming on Nintendo 64.
Okay, yeah, 64.
Yeah, the first game that I got into was Paper Super Mario.
Okay.
Yeah, like.
That's an interesting first title to start.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, whoa, what is that to my brother? And
Right.
he was like, it's a game. I'm like, and didn't answer my question.
Right.
Like, here. And he gave me the controller, like, you're going to have to figure it out. I'm like, okay.
Okay. So he just like threw you right into the fire.
Exactly. He didn't, it was like right in the middle of the game. He had a boss because he couldn't beat it. And I was
so
like,
he put you in front of the boss.
yeah.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I'm just going to.
Might have got lucky.
Right.
I didn't get lucky. I lost so many times.
No,
I didn't know what I
games
was doing. No, not even one. I thought I got close and then told me you're dying. I'm like, what?
So you didn't know what was going on?
No.
Okay. That's a tough way to start.
I loved it, so I was like, let's do it again. He's like, alright, he left me alone and I figured out the controls on my own. And then after that, I was like, well, the best way to learn is like yourself.
Absolutely.
Because now I just don't look at directions or stuff like that. I just look at the controllers just switching around.
That makes sense. Okay, cool. All right, John, what about you? What got you in the game? Can you remember back that far?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Actually, I'm one of those people you call like an original gamer.
All right.
Like I came out, and it's cool that we have Jose here because this is like the opposite sides of gaming, the younger side where you're coming in at a very young age to gaming. I came in as a very young age in the beginning of gaming when it started. So things like no, I'm talking about arcades.
Yeah.
In the 90s when I lived in Brooklyn, we were going to arcades until the console systems came out, like Nintendo and Sega and stuff. And just like any kid that wants the hottest new thing on the market, we're getting one of those. So, and that's how you got in the gaming at home, which changed everyone's life.
Yeah.
I remember 5 moments of playing Mortal Kombat with your friends, the first Mortal Kombat, at home, around the couch, playing that game. So, I'm one of the original gamers. And to this day, I'm 41 years old, and I'm still gaming hard. So
I respect that. Okay, that's cool. So you got into gaming at an early age.
Very early.
And you started with arcade gaming.
Yeah.
That's different.
Putting quarters and waiting next for it. Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of had that big experience though. So you had the social aspect from the jump. Okay. So you have a different view than most people might have. All right. I like that.
Yeah, to put the name on there just so you know nobody can beat you.
I didn't start in the arcade, but I actually I navigated. Like,
Samurai Showdown. That's what it was.
Samurai Showdown.
That's when they had the big what was it the machines where they had multiple games in there. It wasn't.
Okay, Neo Geo. Okay, yeah. Neo Geo's dope. Those had some of the best graphics, but like those that's probably why they were so expensive. Like the cartridge was like a couple $100 for the things. I think the system was like $600. So if you had Neo Geo, you was a baller.
Yeah,
I didn't have Neo Geo.
That's your parents just went 2 months out of rent.
Right. You had to decide what you wasn't gonna pay. Get Neo Geo.
Do we need the RG&E this month?
Right. To play the game, you would.
Right. That back then you probably did you have Wi-Fi?
No, it was Ethernet.
Yeah. It was plugged up. That was it.
That's how hard it is to remember.
And then you had to pay for
dial-up, man. I remember the dial-up days. I remember that.
I don't remember it, but I know about it.
Dial-up days.
Gaming was hard on dial-up.
I remember the computer.
You had to have it plugged in. I used to bring the cord. I had to buy one cord, bring it upstairs.
I remember playing
that's how bad it was.
With the really big Dell. It was like the most nostalgic sound. Oh, that sound. And my brother had like 3 of them. You're just like, oh my god, I can't even watch anything in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Shut the whole
They're like, no, I'm not even in the mood anymore. Just turn it all off.
Okay. All right. Well, that moves us to the next question. So, John, question. Now, being an older gamer, how do you balance? First of all, how often do you get to play throughout the week? And then how do you balance your work life and your game life?
Any chance that I can get, I do get. That's how I balance my gaming as a grown man with a child and a wife. My wife is into gaming. And I wouldn't say she's a gamer, but she's into gaming and she understands the gaming life. But that doesn't stop her from definitely making sure I do what I need to do first. But gaming as a grown man can be hard. If you have responsibilities and other things you need to do, finding that time is hard. That's why I am a nighttime gamer.
Okay.
I game from midnight on.
Oh, so you don't start till midnight?
Yeah.
That's when the hardcore gamers get on. That's when I go to bed. I'm like, all right, I'm not in the mood for this timeline. That's when the elders and like the people with the max Prestige 3 come out.
The days of being your age when all I had to worry about was doing my homework, cleaning up the house, and then I can game all night. Oh man, those are some great days. That's when you can actually beat a game. You can spend that time beat that game in a month and a half and be done.
Yeah.
I've got
I got games I haven't played yet.
Me too. I've got at least 12 games I haven't even touched yet.
I'm the same way right now.
Well, I'm on the arcade. And I don't have time to game, man. That's how real it is being an adult. Okay, so Jose, what about you? Being a younger gamer, you come from a different generation. So being a younger gamer, is it difficult to balance your school life with your game life? And how often do you play throughout the week?
It's more of a social aspect. It's whether I want to, I have to make a really, I know this sounds kind of childish and, millennialist, I guess. I have to decide whether I'm going to go home and play games for the rest of the day, or do I want to be social with people.
That's your life, man. It's cool.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, it comes to a point where do I want to seclude myself with people that I don't know or people that I do know that, you know, are right there?
That's an interesting thing because coming from my perspective, I'm a person who does more linear games, more single person games because of that very fact that I think we talked about this before. When you live in a household where you got kids and a wife and responsibilities, you can't devote, like, that's why I don't play a lot of multiplayer games online because if someone's relying on me to, you know, heal them or do something, I'm off, you know, making sure my daughter ain't doing nothing. So I need games I can pause, come back to. So.
Well, I play like multi-platform games as well, ones that I can be played on single player if I'm not in the mood to do with people, or if I want to, if I have like maybe, well, most of the time I do have like that time. So like, you know, go online and be like, oh, you know, I can buy them without worrying about doing everything.
Okay. So it's in your case, it's not really a issue of not having time. It's just deciding whether or not you want to be social for the day. Okay, that's cool. That's a beautiful luxury to have when you're young.
Well, I was working for a bit and I had no time. I bought a PS4 and that thing was like collecting dust for like a bit. And I was like, I don't even play it. You guys can
know a little something about that. Just sitting there and collecting dust. Okay, so another question. One of the things I like to ask people, like, what's going on, like, in the video game world that you're keeping an eye on? Like, what's happening right now that you're seeing? That's like, okay, that's pretty dope, or I don't really like that. What's going on? Something you see?
Well, I'm always I'm rooted in fighting games, so I'm always looking for the next fighting game.
MTC guy.
So next, yeah. So Dragon Ball Fighters, Injustice. I'm all into all that stuff. And like I said, a great single player game, too, great storyline. You know, like the you know the ones I'm talking about. Drake, Nathan Drake.
Oh, Uncharted.
Yeah, Uncharted, or anything with a great storyline that I can get into. I'm one of those people that used to really get into the world of the game. I like to immerse yourself. Exactly, because gaming for me was a release, as a way from getting away from, especially like when I was younger and I wasn't so sociable, like you said.
Absolutely.
I get in my games, do my things, you know. Exactly. So stuff like that. So I'm definitely always looking for a cool fighting game. Graphics and game innovation I'm always into. So when the VR came out, I've always been looking into that. I always wait for bugs to leave before I really purchase something like that. Wait for the industry to catch up to the software and all that kind of stuff. So just stuff like that. I just love where gaming is going. I'm really into watching the tournaments and everything like that. Eventually, if I ever had the time, I would love to get into tournaments, but I can't put the time into being that good.
It's funny you say that. It's like you're happy how like the gaming industry is going. I'm actually a tad bit worried.
Are you?
Yeah, because the VR, the virtual reality. I'm thinking of like in the mind of like the teenagers nowadays. You know, kind of like double-sided blade, in my opinion. You know, it's like I'd love to get a VR, but I'm also afraid of those days because you know some kids at my age they have that. You know, depression and stuff like that, where they don't want to get up. A kid would just put it on and then just
stay in that world.
Oh, so you're worried that the VRs may cause people to be less sociable?
Yes, and not only that, we have VR chat now.
Yeah.
So now you don't have to worry about people. You can put on a chat and then talk to people, and not even have to be yourself.
And then think about this: once VR starts going into that world where you know, like. Avatar, you become a certain, you know, like in the movies where you're actually a different person and people are, you know, you're interacting with people through VR. Like World of Warcraft, where people were losing their jobs over that game.
I was going to bring it up. That's actually
coming to a point. It's like, you ever seen Sword Art Online?
Yes.
It's going to that.
You think it's going to that level?
And then there's another movie. I think it was Gamer. It was like a boy who took him. You know what I'm talking about? He took control of a guy and then he went through different games.
This dot hack. You know, that was pretty good.
So
okay. So you're concerned that you feel like it's going to make people kind of just distance themselves because they'll have their own world to delve into. Okay, that's an interesting aspect. I've never heard anybody, because people are so excited.
I am like,
but people are so excited about VR and the next step. And
people are so excited about getting out of their own world.
Right.
That's the way I see it.
Video games are a form of escapism, though.
That's the way I see it. Like, people are going to escape the world.
Right.
Well, to what extent?
Okay. And that's real interesting he says that, because you got to understand this, too. Also comes dangers of kids interacting with people who aren't also kids on there.
Absolutely.
And then you can change your voice in the VR chat, too.
Yeah.
Well, I remember just even when I came up playing, I used to play a lot of Final Fantasy 11 online.
Yeah.
And used to happen in Final Fantasy 11 is, it was unfortunate, it was kind of a sneaky move, but guys would make female characters.
Yeah.
Because guys wanted to kind of like connect and have like an online girlfriend or something like that, or an online boo to go experience with and stuff like that. What they would do is they would like give her all the armor and all that, and then like later on they'd be like, "Oh, I'm a dude, bro," and stuff like that. So like, it was just one of those things where I did that. And it was almost like catfishing. Catfishing online. So I guess I understand the aspect.
And imagine that position, that one guy that your cat was seeing has like probably crippling depression, and then you just tell him, "I'm a guy."
Right.
He's like, "What?"
Because you think you connect with somebody online. Like I had friends that played with me offline. Like we were friends outside of Final Fantasy 11, so we knew each other outside. We could talk about the game, but you can imagine somebody who probably didn't have. I won't say didn't have any, but some people
no friends.
Don't have any friends or don't have any associates or anyone close enough, and they feel like this world is where they belong.
Yeah.
You know what? I won't say a loser, but I'm not the most popular guy, whatever it is in life. But in this game, I'm a level 50.
Exactly. I'm a level 50. Right. I am a god. I look at you and you're dead. Right. You know, but in real life, I get bullied because they don't like me.
Even if you don't get bullied, you just may not be the most, because some people are just socially awkward.
There's another side to that. In this day and age where gamers are so popular now, that level 50, whatever you are now, you're a god to like some other kid that's watching on YouTube and stuff like that. So
there's so many YouTubers that get money for that.
Fox.
Right.
You know, so.
But anyways, back on the question at hand.
That actually was no, that's good because that actually was a question I was going to get into. How did you feel about the game industry going in the future? So that was actually good. You guys will touch on that. So, all right, no question. Jose, I hear that you're big in indie games.
Yes.
So, what are some indie games and titles that you played or you're playing that you like to share with the podcast?
I mean, it's kind of hard finding a good indie game.
Okay.
So it's like at the moment I'm not playing any. Sadly, as much as I love them, whether it be on like 8-bit or mini clip and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's like small games that have a good story but end kind of way for me.
Okay.
So I'm like, I want to continue to play this. That's why I love indie games because it's like it'll be one person or like maybe 5 people working on one game.
Okay.
And you can tell, like, if it's a really good game, it's like even if it's like an 8-bit game, you can just tell like, wow, this story got. Sometimes it gets deep.
Yeah.
There's actually there is a game that I'm looking at. I'm like, it's an 8-bit game. I think it's called Catherine.
Okay.
Something. I haven't really dived into it, but from what I understand, it's like she's looking for somebody, and she's like going through this haunted house.
Okay.
That's basically it's like you're hiding and stuff, and it's 8-bit. I'm like, well, there's really good graphics there. Like the way you hide it, the mechanics that I've been noticing, like.
But what platform is it? Is that PC or?
No, it's on the PS4.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like for the PS Pro.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
for like, people who pay for it. You know.
Okay. So that's Catherine.
I think it's called Catherine. I have to look back. But
I know there's a game called Catherine. I think it's one on PS2.
Yeah. Yeah. But there is a game that I am looking at because I do love single players and stuff like that, and I do like nostalgic games that bring me back. I'm looking at the new God of War and the new Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Both. I already pre-ordered God of War.
Did you?
Yeah.
I already pre-ordered it. I was like, I'm gonna do it now, so I don't gotta worry about it later.
I like the aspect of like
the way it's going.
Right.
I actually
him and the son.
I'm actually very surprised because after 3 hours, like
where do you go with it? Right?
Exactly. Like, there's no, and then they said that there's a new God. I'm like, okay, you need to calm down, all right? Because I don't have my hopes up for any number 4 games. You know, unless it's Final Fantasy, where every game is kind of a
every generation.
Story. Yeah. So that's one thing. But when I started actually getting into the story, I'm like, whoa, he has a kid now.
Yeah.
The gods are kind of dead.
They changed his weapons too.
Exactly. Right. Now he has an axe that's like, I'm like, bro, he's a Thor.
Right.
He's kind of Thor, you know, he has an axe that comes back to him, and he has, like, the shield. I'm like, yo, this looks dumb.
Well, you always gotta reinvent it. You can't, people like familiarity to a certain degree, but after a while, when it gets stale, and it's sometimes you're introducing new generations to the game, so it can't be the same iteration every single time, because what happens is people get stale with it, and then they don't want to buy a franchise.
That's actually what I'm afraid of with Kingdom Hearts 3.
You don't. That's going to change too much.
No, I don't think it's going to change at all.
You don't think so?
No.
It's a whole new platform.
Have you seen commercials or kind of like I've seen like little gameplays of it.
Right.
It doesn't look like anything has changed other than his abilities and what he wears.
Okay.
I need him.
Well, hopefully it does change because a lot of people waiting for the game.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it too. Like I would still buy it, but I would sit there.
I was never big on Kingdom Hearts, man. I know
I
it's dope.
understand the appeal,
Right.
but I never got into
I just
it.
never, you know what I'm saying?
It was kind of hard for me to get into it. I started out when it first came out,
Right,
like, on the PS2, and I just was like, alright, it's a pain. Alright, I'm getting into it, you just get hammered with like stuff, you don't like too much story.
Right.
And after a while, the story starts stressing me out, and we start like, okay, now I can understand. Maybe like they could have dialed it down a bit, maybe watered it and then just kept on going. But I thought it was a good game. The first one and the second one, I had them on my PlayStation.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't even played them yet because I played them before. But the fact that I have it, it's like if I want to go back to my younger days, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
So speaking of going back to your younger days, Jay, what were some of your favorite games coming up?
Like I said back in the day in the arcades, I have Samurai Showdown is one of my all-time favorites.
Fire.
So I actually rebought it for the PSN. Yeah.
That's
that just brings back so many memories.
you know how many rebought games I got? Like,
Yeah.
on the platform?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Samurai Showdown, that's one. Right.
You know another one that Gran Turismo was always that game, like me and my friends. Because if you're a car lover, Gran Turismo it was a game that I always got into.
See, the only car game I got
And I'm not a big car game.
Speed,
Underground.
I was a Gran Turismo simulation kind of.
So is Gran Turismo more? Because you talk to.
I come from a car family, so.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, explain it to us. I never heard of it.
Really?
I'm not big on either one.
Gran Turismo was a race simulator where like they had pretty much every car.
It's a more realistic game.
Yes, because you could change flywheels and like even the little adjustment to your flywheel, you could hear and feel the difference in your car.
Okay.
No.
So it was that kind of game.
Advanced for your age.
No, well you gotta understand like this. Back then,
When did it come?
we were getting into that realm just like how babies now or toddlers can pick up a tablet and navigate a tablet.
That's
Crazy.
That's another thing.
That's where we was when back then. We were like, okay, this is new technology. We're gonna ingest this new technology and figure out how to use it. So,
figure it out.
we progress as video games progress with our knowledge of the technology and stuff like that.
So Samurai Showdown, Gran Turismo.
Yeah, just bringing back all fighting games. Just always been a lover of fighting games. Games like that, and I always love stuff like that because it always kept people up on the technology. Even like when we came out and stuff like that. I love when they take the technology further and further and further because you gotta understand, I'm an original gamer. So I've seen it from the joysticks to like handhelds to everything. So I'm always impressed and watching the progression of gaming is my big thing because I want to go from using the arcades to actually being in the game.
Okay.
Like bodysuit, like we're in the game. All that kind of stuff.
I would love that too. That's where my fear starts. Like right now, it goes from controller to room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It goes from like me playing with the controller and my mom just said, "Hey, get off the game and stuff, go outside," to me locking my door in my room is already my game.
Yeah. Well, I think that would come more to a parenting aspect. You still, it would be on you to still immerse at a young age. Like sometimes you have to kind of engrave that love of outdoors to your children. So even when they get older, they may stray from it a little bit, but they still would want to. I feel like going outside a little bit. Like I'm a basketball guy. I play football, basketball, baseball. So every now and then, I want to get out there. I want to jump on the court. Even though I love to play video games, I can play Diablo 3 all day.
Oh yeah.
But I still want to get out there. And
definitely.
I completely understand your fear, but I think it's just like with like anything else. Like the technology is going to continue to push forward. Like we have what is it now? Like
I'm not going to sit here and say it's not a bad idea.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm just going to say I'm just like putting it out there that this is really goes.
Yeah. Well, anything's going to be, I think, abused, and no matter what you put out. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always some people who use it to the effect that you didn't want it to use. So unfortunately, that's what this comes with development. It comes with progression. It's always gonna be somebody who is always like. That's why you have people who are pirates, and they always like. But that's what killed one of the things that killed Dreamcast. Man, the fact that you just pirate all the games. And people, like you can literally make a whole Dreamcast library, and it was somebody who figured that out. Remember Xbox 360? That was a big thing. People just burning games all over the place, and all of a sudden you had a $400 library, for almost for free. And those are a bunch of games that GameStop couldn't sell, that you couldn't sell online, and stuff like that. So I think with anything in general progression, you're going to get the people who take advantage of it and unfortunately find a negative way for it. But I don't see too many downfalls with it. Because you guys ever heard of hologram?
No.
So basically, this is hologram. It's like these guys that I haven't delved deep into it yet, but they literally kind of do what you said. They take a room, everybody's got their headset on, and you're like in the zombie game and stuff like that, but you're doing it with other people though. You're not by yourself. Part of it is I think they're realizing what your fear, it's also a fear that a lot of parents have. I don't want my kid to be isolated. So let's find social ways to do it.
3 kids, and I got a VR and like enough for all 3 of them, and they were all playing games together, I wouldn't care. Right. You know what, that's family time, and they're also socializing, whether it be with each other or with friends.
Well, they actually have some new. I don't know if it's the same technology. This hologram, where I saw it recently, where they will cast a person into another person's world. So like this world right here, there could be a hologram of a person in this room with us, moving, touching stuff, doing things, but they're in another area.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, and that's new. And I wonder if they're going to incorporate that. They said it'll be used for like business meetings and stuff like that.
Which makes sense, right?
But I think that will eventually be incorporated into gaming.
That's pretty dope.
A game that one of like my favorite games when I was younger, it was actually Ocarina at the time. Probably as generic as that sounds.
Listen, you like what you like, man.
It was Ocarina at the time, and it was Super Mario 64.
64, okay.
Yes, it was when I played that, I'm like, whoa, I can mess with Super Mario's face.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done. This game
I like open world.
The fact that it was open world too, I was like, oh, I don't have to go back over there, just stay here and mess around.
Linear is dope to a certain degree, but then sometimes just having that freedom to roam around.
Yeah,
I love free roam games.
Just kind of figure out some stuff.
Well, that did take over. I mean, and it made sense. It made sense. I mean, the more you open up the games, the more you can do, the more you're interested, the more time you can put. I mean,
I love messing around in any game.
It opens up creativity.
Yeah, you know how many people got on GTA and didn't do missions and just roamed around for hours?
I don't know if I started the game. I did what I had to do, and after that, I don't think I ever did a mission on GTA.
I'm the type of person I need to finish the game before.
I'm not even.
Because I can't have that in my face. Because it's in my head, I'm like, alright, you need to get out of my face. These missions and stuff like that. But while I'm going through those missions, believe me, I'm hitting every person on that.
I just feel like that when I was younger. I wanted to beat every game, but I just got to a certain age. I'm like, I just want to play around with it, man. What's going on? What's over this corner over here? What happens if I push this button while that's going over here? So
you know what's fun?
Rockstar really opened that up.
Yeah, man.
They really opened that up.
I feel like I'm not gonna say Rockstar was the beginning of open world, but I think it was the beginning of an expansion. It was everybody else was already starting it. Everybody. It was being oh, okay, it's open world, whatever. Everybody was getting into the Black Ops. Everybody was getting into other game stuff, and then GTA 5 came out, and then people are starting noticing oh, we can do open world and people would like it.
I think they knew that from generations ago.
I know they've been doing that for a long time, but now kids and teenagers I'm just saying, my generation is now noticing we can open world way better than just having to go one direction.
That's the beauty of gaming, man. Just being able to kind of cover all the bases, man. Okay, so all right, so we kind of touched on a little bit. We got to a little bit, but how do you guys feel about gaming back then versus gaming now? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my God!
As we wind the show.
I like both aspects of it. I like it because back then, you got to really you bought a game and it was something special to it because it was always the first of. You know, it was always the first of. When you got Mortal Kombat, it was an event because it was the first man.
When I got Halo, that's when it was the first Halo on the Xbox. I was like, oh man, and we didn't even play the game. That was the first one that I didn't even mess around with the story mode because me and my siblings were like, let's kill each other.
Right.
Yeah. And now you expect things to be great. You expect things to be big.
Absolutely.
I mean, nowadays games get huge promotional campaigns and things like that. Budgets,
crazy,
huge commercials. So everything back then was the first of, and it was always when Street Fighter came out, it was always cool.
We're still technically dealing with the first of.
Not
in the same way.
For a lot of beloved franchises,
but
a lot of at first off, as far as I think like you said, going to VR, holograms, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're definitely dealing with the first of that. But as far as like
major multiplayer,
right, stuff like that. But somebody's like, okay, Fortnite, that's pretty big. But even at Fortnite, we ain't the first of them.
No.
And then Evo. I mean, gamers are cool now, man.
Yeah,
like we are hot stuff, man. Like you can win a tournament and live off that for a year.
Coming for our era, that wasn't happening.
No.
It wasn't even cool to admit that you played video games in certain circles, man.
Right.
So,
No, it wasn't.
I got it good, man. So we had to hide it, man. Like,
imagine back in the day, you talking about, oh, you want to go hoop? No, I'm about to play this RPG. Like, what did you like what?
Oh, actually, there is a, I just remembered it, a little indie game that I played a long time ago, but I'm sure it's still up. It's called World of an Angry Boss, I believe.
World of an Angry Boss?
Yeah, something like that. What happens is, like, you're this little 8-bit thing, whether it be a wizard to, like, a warrior, and you go around and you're just basically, it's like a boss battle simulator. You go around and find different bosses. You try to level up as much as you can before you die, because when you die, you just lose everything. Unless you have a chest, you're not getting anything back.
I got a quick question for you guys. Real quick one. Alright, speaking of boss battles, when you come across a boss, and if you spend your time trying to beat that boss and it doesn't happen, do you just continue playing until you beat that boss, or do you get help from online?
No, actually, I turn around and I go do other stuff.
Me, I play as far as I can, and then I get help.
Actually,
because I want to complete it.
I don't go online.
You know,
the only time I go online, if it's I believe it or not, I go online and watch stuff that I know I'm not gonna play. Because I still want to experience it a little bit, but I just don't.
Yeah.
What I do is, if I go to a boss and I can't beat him, I find a way to grind him. Like sometimes, because I know who I am. Like most times, sometimes I'm an oblivious gamer. So oh crap, I missed that. You remember the game 99 Nights? Did you ever play that game? It was on 360.
No.
It was like a big deal because you could put like 100 guys on the screen. It was like, I'm a big Dynasty Warriors guy, so you could put like so many guys on the screen and like you just tear through everybody, like just waves and waves of enemies. Well, when 99 Nights said, I had no idea. Like I literally went through the whole game, right? And I got to the final boss. I'm like, yo, I can't beat this dude. What is going on? Did you not know that? I thought that because I couldn't. You know, sometimes you get a weapon, but the way that it doesn't change when they're holding it for real life.
Yeah.
Like you get, like the weapon looks great, but when they're fighting with it, it looks like their regular weapon.
Yeah.
I thought it was something similar to that.
Okay.
So what happened was, I literally played the whole game of 99 Nights with level 1 everything.
Whoa.
I didn't know how to change it.
That's an OG gamer.
So I didn't need the OG gamer. Like, it was not intentional. I didn't know because I was moving 360. Like I didn't have too many games.
Oh Lord!
So I didn't press the back button, which was the menu button, to equip everything. So I'm looking like, yo, I'm racking my brain up. Why can't I beat this dude? Like I know I'm good at this game. Like so I got through the whole game, like the level 1, everything, and then once I pressed the select button, I was like, oh my god. Then I equipped everything and it's like wasting them. Like,
wow.
That's so crazy.
I would love to do that. Just like, but games aren't like that anymore. Actually.
But you know, they do that though. They have different speed runs, and that's a whole
those speed runs. I guess that's what that's.
I know we're running out of time soon, but one game people should check out is Hand of Fate. That's one game that
Hand of Fate.
I will check that out.
I love that game.
Okay.
I'm addicted to that.
That's new. I haven't even.
It's a card game, but it's also a battle game too. So the cards are laid on the table No, the cards that lead you on a path, and like you get shields, you get weapons, and it's a chance of fate. And then you beat bosses and stuff like that. It's a cool game, and that's the game I'm trying to beat now. I'm at the end. It's hard.
That's what's up.
Is it free?
No.
Okay. Well, sorry, people. I know how you feel.
Listen, none of us over here balling yet, so hopefully not yet. Okay, well, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining the show today. The AGN Checkin. This is podcast number 6. John, appreciate you. Jose, appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, keep your eyes peeled for what's going on. As soon as we find out what's going on with the space, hopefully we're going to university. But if not, we'll continue the service. Thank you for checking in. We'll be back next week. Peace.